Hey, let's talk blood glucose regulation, how to reduce your risk of diabetes. And if you have diabetes, can you lower it and get rid of it? Yes, you can. Let me show you how. All right. First of all, let me explain your blood work to you. When you get blood work, you're going to see a hemoglobin A1C level. Your hemoglobin A1C level should not be higher than 5.6. If it's between 5.6 and 5.9, you're pre-diabetic. If it's over 6, you have diabetes. Ideally, we want to be less than 5.6. So when we talk about that, we really have to address insulin levels. How to lower insulin levels? Well, first of all, the best way is actually a plant-based diet. Plant-based diet, people who follow that lifestyle have been shown to have the lowest risk of diabetes. So that's first and foremost. Before I dive into the food, I want to say that sleep, adequate sleep, your stress level, exercise, timing of meals, these are all things that also affect blood sugar and insulin levels, so you cannot ignore those components as well. We're going to dive into the food, but you also have to make sure that your exercise is regular, that you are getting enough sleep, that your stress is under control, things like that, and that you don't eat too late at night. Okay. So when we talk about insulin, what lowers insulin or what raises it and then spikes our glucose and makes you kind of feel totally exhausted? It spikes your energy, it drops your energy, keeps you unhealthy. Those white refined carbohydrates, bagels, breads, white flours, white potatoes, French fries, white rice, cakes, cookies, brownies, ice cream, soda, juice. These are all foods that are ridiculously high in the glycemic index and will absolutely raise your levels. Fiber, protein, and essential fat, the magical threesome of what levels out your numbers, okay? Eating high fiber, which slows absorption, protein, which holds it, and fat, which holds it. So those are your three best friends, all right? Foods that are high in what we call the glycemic index, which was all that white stuff and the sugars, those foods that are high in the glycemic index, you want to pretty much stay away from. The lowest foods on the glycemic index are foods like beans. Yes, all legumes and beans are some of the lowest. Whole grains, the farro, quinoa, black rice, wild rice, the whole grains, oats, steel-cut oats, bulgur. These are low on the glycemic index. You want them in your life. So beans, whole grains, vegetables, all vegetables, unless we're talking pretty much like, carrots and corn are higher on the glycemic index. There's no doubt. It doesn't mean to avoid them, but they are higher on the glycemic index when it comes to vegetables. And fruits, ripe bananas and grapes are very high in the glycemic index. Otherwise, berries are some of the lowest. So all the berries are the best for you. Pears and apples and plums, those are very low and wonderful for you, okay? There's a hack out there, apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar slows glucose absorption of a meal up to 30%. So it can be recommended to take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar 15 to 30 minutes before the meal, and you will have 30% less of a spike in glucose at that meal. That's fabulous. Now, might be hard to get that tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in. You can mix it in water, do a little shot glass, or if that's hard for you, you can just take a bunch of lettuce, put vinegar on there. You can actually use any vinegar. It doesn't have to be apple cider vinegar. Most of the studies were done on apple cider vinegar, but it has been shown that all vinegars have this impact. And so you can take your lettuce, put a bunch of vinegar on there, eat that just alone, and then move about your meal. That will help as well. In addition, the order in which you eat your food, I love this, the order in which you eat your food can lower your glucose spike by up to 75% at that meal, just in the order in which the order in which you eat it. So what are we talking about? You eat the vegetables first, because you're so high in fiber. You secondly eat that protein, the beans, the tofu, tempeh, seitan, whatever that might be, and then the grain, be it that you have a little bit of a whole grain pasta or you have a quinoa or a black rice. If you eat in that order, you will have a 75% drop in the glucose spike at the meal. That's incredible. Also, if you walk 10 to 15 minutes right after a meal, that will lower your levels. Magnesium and chromium, two really important nutrients that keep blood sugar under better control. Magnesium, high in green vegetables, beans, dark chocolate, avocado, pumpkin seeds. Foods that are high in chromium are nuts, fruits and vegetables. Cinnamon lowers blood sugar as well, 1/4 teaspoon a day. So put that on your steel-cut oats, perfection. So that's a little bit on how you keep that blood sugar under control. Once again, foods low in the glycemic index, foods that are high in fiber, high in protein, whole grains, eating in the order of the vegetable, the protein, then the grain first, that apple cider vinegar, 15 to 30 minutes before the meal. All of those are little hacks to keep that blood sugar level down and keep the weight in your gut on a down low. And if you're overweight, you try to lose some weight as well. There you have it. All right? Ways to drop that blood sugar level and keep it under control. Have a great day.